Part 17. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 161. Could it be that she tricked Xian Man out of this? What happened between Chen-Ling and Xian Man before he arrived? Why was Xian Man sleeping so soundly? How did you? John Killen asked halfway. Chen-Ling raised her right index finger and shook it gently. Well, I have no comment. In addition, I have another important piece of information. I just learned that there are 2 suspected drug dealers storing drugs in our country. One is a slaughterhouse located 50 kilometers south of High City. The other is a waste recycling station located in the northern suburbs of Liangpu City. Hurry up and seal it up. After Chen-Ling finished speaking, she bent down to pick up the umbrella with a crooked handle on the ground and opened the door. Where are you going? That small, broken house with drafts on all sides, John Killen asked. Do you want to continue participating in this program? Of course. My mission is completed. Now it's time to relax and have fun in the program. I can also make some money. Why quit? Besides, if Xian Man and I quit at the same time, those netizens with great imaginations will never know how to plot against me. The rest is your task, Chief Zhang. If you need to find me to understand the situation, I will actively cooperate with the investigation. I also hope that Chief Zhang will be kind enough not to stop the filming of the program. It's not easy for the program team to support so many employees. After speaking, Chen-Ling opened the door. This huge rainstorm stopped at some point. The dark clouds in the sky have dispersed a lot, and a little bit of the moonlight is revealed in the gaps between the clouds. John Killen watched Chen-Ling holding the umbrella that was kicked crooked in the fierce battle and slowly walked into the night. Without even turning her head, she raised her hand and waved perfunctorily, as a farewell, and then walked out of the courtyard. Several men looked at Chen-Ling and hesitated, not knowing whether to stop her. John Killen shook his head at them and motioned them to leave. Watching her walk out of his sight, a strange feeling surged in his chest, a kind of reluctance to part. When can I meet her again? Is there any reason to see her? John Killen gave himself a few seconds of melancholy. Then, his expression became solemn, and there were still a lot of things waiting for him to deal with. Asterisk. The director had just laid down and fell asleep, and as if he had just fallen asleep, he heard a knock on the door. Who is it? As soon as he opened the door, several soldiers in camouflage uniforms stood outside the door. He was stunned for a full half-minute. We are from Hmai and need to inform you of something. Xian Man is suspected of drug smuggling, drug use, harboring others to take drugs, attempted murder, and other crimes. He needs to be taken away. Please cooperate. Director. What? Drug use? Attempted murder? Also, what is Hmai? Is he still asleep? 10 minutes later, after learning about what Xian Man had done, the director's hands were shaking. After signing a bunch of documents claiming to be the National Special Security Agency, abbreviated Hmai, he felt as if he was dead. Let Xian Man, a person with a bad record, get in. Does this program still have a future? It's probably going to be over soon. The director wanted to cry but had no tears. He couldn't help but start planning how to disband in his mind. The soldier said again. Our superior said that the program team will continue to shoot as usual. As for the suspect, you should issue a notice saying that she suddenly felt unwell and withdrew midway. Her agency will come forward to explain. It can still be shot as usual? The documents have been signed, and we have informed you of the precautions. We hope that your program team will keep it strictly confidential. Regarding the criminal facts of the suspect, please do not spread her crimes in any form before we make them public. Violators will be held accountable. The director waved his hands repeatedly. No, No, absolutely not. It is a great fortune to be able to save the program. He was afraid to avoid Xian Man. How could he dare to take the initiative to spread her scandal? Asterisk. At 4 o'clock in the morning, the 5 guests were driven to the center of the village by the ruthless program team. The guests all looked haggard. Oh, except Chen Ling. Although she only slept for an hour, she was full of energy. Lu Ju's eyes were swollen, and he yawned and glanced at everyone, then asked in a daze, "Hey? Why didn't Sister Xian Man come? Sister Ling, you live nearby, did you see her?" The director's forehead was sweating when he heard it. "Mai took Xian Man away last night. Did Chen Ling hear anything?" He stayed up all night, busy revising the schedule with all the employees, contacting investors to explain the situation, and carefully revising the notice on the internet that Xian Man unexpectedly withdrew due to personal reasons. He only forgot to remind Chen Ling. Is she talking nonsense? This is a live broadcast. Chen Ling showed a trace of confusion. Ah. Didn't you see it? The director breathed a sigh of relief. Lu Ju rubbed his sleepy eyes. Ah, maybe Sister Xian Man didn't sleep well last night. Suddenly, Lu Ju remembered the story of Water Ghost and was sobered up instantly. Sister Xian Man was not possessed by a water ghost. The director rushed over. Hey, let me tell you something, Xian Man was not feeling well last night, and asked us to withdraw from the program group. Now she has left safely. Barrage. Xian Man is gone. I set an alarm to get up and watch the live broadcast, and I felt a chill on my back. Why do I feel so spooky? To be honest, I didn't dare to look at the ceiling last night. Xian Man has withdrawn. She looked very bad yesterday after fainting. She has been listless. Yes, she said before that she would take a break from acting for a while. Isn't that because she was not feeling well? I just checked Weibo Xian Man's agency and the program team have issued a notice stating that Xian Man withdrew from the program for personal reasons. The guests present all looked at Chen Ling suddenly. Tell me, did you scare her away? The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 162. The host Daji resisted the urge to yawn, stood in the middle of the crowd, and explained to everyone. Good morning, everyone. This is the live broadcast of Slow Life, I Love the Sea. First of all, thank XX Group for its strong support. The sky at the seaside is brighter than the sky in the city. The sky is hazy now, because it rained last night, and it is chilly now. Many villagers who got up early stood far away and looked out. After reading the names of the sponsors, the host said, I want to make it clear to everyone that Mr. Xian Man withdrew from the program last night due to personal reasons. There are currently 5 guests left in the program team. First of all, the 5 of us will form our own groups. After the groups are formed, we will set off to the port and go fishing with our fishermen friends. Lu Ju took Chen Ling's arm. Sister Ling, let's form a team. Chen Ling smiled, okay. What, aren't you afraid that I will scare you? Lu Ju said, it's broad daylight, what am I afraid of? Chen Ling nodded, that makes sense. I'll scare you again tonight. Lu Ju, are you addicted to scaring people? Guan Yiwei and Gong Yiwei formed a team. Lu's Hiding originally wanted to form a team with Xian Man. Although the two of them will inevitably compete with each other, they can also attract more attention. Now that Xian Man is gone, she can only find someone else to form a team, but who should she find? Lu Ju and Chen Ling, 2 little girls, one is as young and beautiful as the other. Wouldn't it be self-torture for her to go? 2 handsome guys, if you don't mind, please add me as well. Lu's Hiding smiled at the 2 male guests. Guan Yiwei nodded, okay, as long as teacher Lu's Hiding doesn't look down on us for being clumsy. The host announced the team lineup. Lu Ju and Chen Ling are in one group, and Lu's Hiding, Guan Yiwei and Gong Yiwei are in one group. For the sake of fairness, our final results will be based on the amount of money earned per capita. The team that earns more per capita will win. This trip to the sea is divided into 3 items. The first item is to cast a net and fish at sea. However, when and where to cast the net, the guests will discuss and decide, and our captain and crew will do the operation. The second item is fishing. The captain will teach you the skills of sea fishing, and the guests will hang the bait themselves for sea fishing. The third item is to go to the sea to fish. We will go to Zubi Island and dive near the island to fish for sea cucumbers, sea urchins, and other seafood. Wow, the guests are asked to choose the time to cast the net themselves. Isn't it too difficult? I grew up by the sea. Let me explain to you that going out to sea to fish mainly depends on luck. Once you cast a net, how much you can catch and what you can catch all depend on luck, of course. A few experienced veterans can increase the success rate of fishing according to the ocean current, temperature, etc. Do you remember that Sister Ling said her grandfather was from the seaside? I got excited when you said that. Am I the only one who thinks diving is more dangerous? It's okay. When I traveled to the Maldives before, I went snorkeling every day. I don't have any snorkeling experience. There are local black people leading the team and life jackets on my body, so there will be no danger. The person above, you are too Versailles, drag him out. The group walked towards the dock in a mighty manner. 2 civilian fishing boats were docked at the shore. One had a yellow flag and the other had a blue flag. There were 3 local fishermen on each fishing boat, responsible for driving the boat, casting the net, collecting seafood, and later leading the guests to snorkel, etc. After the host flipped a coin, he decided that Chen Ling and his team would be the yellow team and go to the yellow boat, and Lu's Hiding and 3 others would be the blue team and go to the blue boat. The guests put on their life jackets and boarded their boats. The 2 fishing boats left the dock with a thump. A barrage of comments floated across the screen. Brothers, the official Weibo of Survival in the Dead has issued a statement. The thrilling survival video footage after the program team was disconnected from the internet will be broadcast simultaneously on several major TV stations and online video platforms at 12 noon today. Cards, family members. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 163. I heard that the follow-up filming video of Desperate Survival was released. My grandfather struggled to sit up from the hospital bed and shook his head. If you don't believe the rumors, don't spread them. It's over, it's over. Time has collided. When the time comes, should I watch Slow Enjoyment or Survival? Be as smart as me and have your tablet ready, then watch both at the same time. I really don't know what you Chen Ling fans are so proud of. My manman was forced away by Chen Ling. Joker's Carnival. My manman is so pitiful, she is about to die, but she is fumigated away by the stench of the flower of evil. I am a fan of Lu Zhan. During the live broadcast last night, my brother confirmed that Chen Ling bullied other guests during the show. Zhang and Bai are both her helpers. Brother Lu Zhan said that it is because of people like Chen Ling who are not like women that the world is becoming more and more disharmonious. If the original harmony was achieved at the expense of women, then we would rather not have this kind of harmony. Not like a woman? You. Who dictates what a woman should look like? I finally understand why more and more women don't like to do housework. It's because people like Chen Ling set a wrong example. I am male. I like Chen Ling very much. I now tell my gay friends why women don't like to do housework, the same reason why men don't like to do housework. Don't blame my Lingling. They are anxious. When they see a woman being strong, they become anxious. Ha ha ha, I'll give it to you idiot fans who wear filters to watch idols and wait for the show to get slapped in the face. Shit, Lu Zhan is still alive. Lu Zhan fans, please go back and read what your brother said on the Desperate Situation program, and then tell whose problem it is. Flower of Evil. Chen Ling must be for today. Administrator. Someone made a personal attack. The barrage has become a fight. Chen Ling, who was being discussed heatedly, was leaning leisurely on the deck railing of the fishing boat, enjoying the gentle sea breeze and looking at the faint morning light where the sea and the sky met, feeling extremely happy. The captain is explaining the knowledge of the sea seriously. In our sea area, the water is deep and the current is fast, so it is difficult to keep the fishing line straight. If the fish is hooked, you must lift the rod quickly. If the speed is too slow and the force is too small, the fish he might break off and run away. Chen Ling's body swayed slightly with the bumps of the ship, looking a little lazy, listening to the captain's explanation. Why does it seem like something is missing? Oh, why is Lu Ju so quiet? This girl has been happily running back and forth across the boat since she got on the boat, chattering excitedly about how this was her first time on a fishing boat. It wasn't until the boat started and the captain said he would explain to the two how to cast the net and how to fish in the sea that she sat down quietly. Chen Ling glanced at Lu Ju, who was sitting next to him and was uncharacteristically silent. Lu Ju's lips turned white and cold sweat appeared on his forehead. She was seasick. There is a common saying in the sailing community to describe seasickness: silence, eyesight, no meals, limbs weak, internal organs, up and down, for a long time, 99, without stopping, very uncomfortable. Lu Ju had been feeling uncomfortable for a while, and she was forcing herself to endure it. However, as the ship got farther from the coast and the waves got bigger, her seasickness became more intense. Chen Ling observed her for a few seconds and determined that Lu Ju was in the first of the 3 stages of seasickness. Seasickness is actually a type of motion sickness. Generally, people who take a sailing trip for the first time have more than 95% probability of experiencing seasickness. Captain, I'm sorry, please wait a moment, Chen Ling interrupted the captain's explanation. My friend is seasick. Lu Ju glanced at Chen Ling gratefully, but she really didn't want to speak. The captain touched his head naively. What should we do? Do you want to go back? Lu Ju gritted his teeth and said, I won't go back. It was so easy for her to get the opportunity to participate in this show, how could she give up like this? Chen Ling glanced at Lu Ju. Indeed, when seasickness first begins, if you can go ashore immediately to stop the current state, the symptoms of seasickness will disappear after a while. However, in addition to going ashore, Chen Ling had other ways to alleviate or even eliminate seasickness. Of course, it was also because Lu Ju was in the first stage of seasickness. If it reaches the final 3rd stage, then Chen Ling really has nothing to do. Chen Ling turned around and said, Captain, do you have any ginger and cooling oil? These fishermen often have to float at sea for several days, and most fishing boats are equipped with small kitchens. If there is a kitchen, there may be ginger. Fortunately, the captain nodded, I have it on the ship. Dazu, go get it. The crew member named Dazu soon brought over a large bush of ginger and a box of cooling oil. Chen Ling borrowed the captain's dagger, cut a few thin slices of ginger, and handed it to Lu Ju's mouth. Bite. Lu Ju frowned and looked at the sliced ginger in front of him, then opened his mouth and bit the slice. The pungent smell of ginger hit my forehead, and I almost shed tears. Chen Ling unscrewed the cap of the cooling oil again, took out a little green paste with his index finger, and applied it to Lu Ju's temples and the base of his back ears, swirling and rubbing it gently. Lu Ju felt that the uncontrollable nausea had subsided a little, and his lips had a faint blood color. Chen Ling stood up and stretched out his hand. Come on, follow me to the bow of the boat, and I'll teach you how to ride the waves. The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 164. Bullet Screen. Walking on the Waves, is it the song I listened to in my childhood? I will sing the first line first. A small cloud, slowly walking over, please rest your feet, stop for a while. Piers, the mountain flowers are blooming on the mountain, I just came to the mountain. Seasickness is really uncomfortable. There are two states of seasickness. I am going to die. Why am I not dead yet? I have taken out my little notebook and prepared to record how to relieve seasickness. Chen Ling supported Lu Ju and walked slowly to the bow on the bumpy deck. If you want to relieve motion sickness, you must know what causes motion sickness. In order to maintain body balance, the human body will continuously rely on the vestibular, visual, and sensory organ systems to collect external information and transmit it to the inner ear. The inner ear summarizes and organizes this information and transmits it to the balance system of the brain. If the balance system finds that the information received by the inner ear is inconsistent with that received by the eyes, seasickness will occur. How to fight it? Simple. Why don't drivers get carsick? Because he can predict the movement of the car. When to step on the accelerator, when to use the brake, when to turn, and when to bump. The brain integrates the information from the eyes and can correctly adjust the balance system to avoid motion sickness. Lu Ju got seasick because her eyes saw that the cabin was relatively still, but her vestibule felt that her body was moving. The brain received two conflicting signals. What is wave riding? Simply put, it means standing at the bow, seeing the ups and downs of the waves with your eyes, and feeling the bumps of the waves with your vestibule. The information is synchronized to help the brain correct the balance system information. Stand here, hold the railing, look at the nearest waves, follow my rhythm, and breathe. Lu Ju stood at the front of the bow railing. In order to protect her, Chen Ling stood behind her and supported her waist and abdomen. Exhale, inhale. Chen Ling spoke clearly, keep your eyes on the nearest wave in front of the boat, and pay attention to when it will hit the bow. Lu Ju obediently bit the ginger slice, with the cool oil on his temple, half leaning on Chen Ling's arms, looking at the waves. The barrage went crazy. Titanic classic reappears. Program crew, hurry up, soundtrack My Heart Will Go On. The program crew's backstage soundtrack was very cooperative, and immediately played Celine Dion's classic song. A small wave came. The hull shook with it. Lu Ju shook with it. A big wave came. The hull shook more violently. However, Lu Ju's brain had already made a judgment, and the balance system in the brain corrected the information accordingly. 10 minutes later, Lu Ju's seasickness symptoms completely disappeared. Chen Ling insisted that she stand for a while longer before letting go. You'd better stay on the deck for a while. Lean your body against the railing as much as possible and don't move around casually. Thank you, Sister Ling, I was so uncomfortable just now. Lu Ju finally let go of the ginger slice she was biting. Chen Ling stuffed another piece of ginger into her hand. Take it, smell it if you feel uncomfortable. Okay, Lu Ju took it obediently. Fortunately you know how to relieve seasickness. Sorry to bother you, did we delay casting the net and sea fishing? Chen Ling smiled and said, don't worry, you're not delayed. We haven't reached the place to cast the net yet. Even if we cast the net here, we won't catch anything. You actually know where to cast the fishing net. Lu Ju smelled the ginger slices and exclaimed in surprise, I can't tell, Sister Ling, you are so hidden. Chen Ling smiled, it's nothing. I just know a little about this because I played at the beach with my grandfather and went out to sea to fish. It's not difficult. If you want to know, I can teach you. Love it, although I don't know if Chen Ling can cast the net. I love her attitude, she doesn't show off because she knows a lot. And the tone of her speech will not make the other person think she is stupid. From the moment she discovered her teammates were seasick, her approach was textbook. I was afraid that someone would complain, oh, why are you seasick? It's too late. What should I do? I remembered my ex-boyfriend, we went to Chongqing to play, and I got carsick. He kept nagging me. I didn't have a good time at that time, and I felt very guilty. Damn it, now I know that he is a fool. On the other side, Guan Yiwei was also seasick. Especially the perfume on Lu's hiding made him even more painful. The boat was shaking, and he was shaking in the opposite direction of the boat. Ugh. Lu's hiding pinched her nose, looking disgusted. Guan Yiwei endured the dizziness. I can't do it anymore. Can I go and rest for a while? Teacher Guan, please hold on. It's just seasickness. Lu's hiding's eyes were almost rolling up to the sky, otherwise we will definitely lose. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 165. It's not me, ugh, I won't insist, I really can't stand it. Guan Yiwei's face was pale. Gong Yiwei looked at Lu's hiding with dissatisfaction, and then looked at the captain and crew. They stood far away, just watching, and didn't seem to plan to do anything. This is the requirement of the malicious program team. The captain and crew can only do reasonable things that the guests tell them to do. They cannot take the initiative to provide help. It is designed to test the guests' adaptability, organizational ability, and teamwork awareness. Yiwei, I'll help you lie down in the cabin. If people who are carsick fall asleep, they will feel better, Gong Yiwei said. Guan Yiwei's face was pale, and he said softly, thank you. After Gong Yiwei helped Guan Yiwei lie down in the cabin, he found a crew member to help take care of him, and returned to the deck. He still had to record the program. Lu's hiding was arguing with the captain, why can we only cast the net 3 times? There won't be any loss if we cast more times, right? Miss, we need physical strength to cast the net and then collect it. Every time we collect the net, the fishing net is very easy to get tangled together. It's also very strenuous to straighten the fishing net before casting it again. Besides, you have limited time. I will take you to sea fishing later. And diving. There is no time. Isn't that what you do? How can you be short of physical strength? Please, big brother, we are already one person short. If we don't find a way to catch more, we will lose. Lu's hiding winked and blinked her long eyelashes. Lu's hiding is so selfish. I'm sorry, I really feel physically uncomfortable when I see an ant who is nearly 40 years old acting like a spoiled child. Originally, she asked to join this man's team, and I thought she was very scheming. Now I hate her even more. Don't you have the most basic concern? People will die if they compare themselves with others, and goods will be thrown away if they are compared with others. Look at Chengling next door. I officially declare that at this moment, I have turned from a hater to a fan of Chengling. Family, do I need to catch up on any lessons? Baidu Netdisk, Sister Ling's emoticons, take them for yourself. Web link. Sister Ling's latest survival show, no pitfalls if you invest. Asterisk. 5 a.m. in China is 1 p.m. in the distant United States. Ken, a good friend of Nolan, the current captain of the H Rangers, and the personal doctor of Chengling's adoptive father Amos, walked coquettishly to the dining table with 2 glasses of red wine. Ji Chenjiao, who was sitting at the dining table, looked a little anxious. Her knuckles kept knocking on the fine marble tabletop. Our angel in the medical field, the beautiful Ji, actually left those pitiful wounded soldiers in the war zone and came to date me. I am so proud. Dr. Ken blinked and continued, we shouldn't waste such a good time, beautiful lady, don't you want to do something fun and exciting? Put away your tricks against the blonde beauty, Ji Chenjiao said coldly, when will Nolan arrive? Have you told him? Tisk, so ruthless. No wonder everyone calls you the Ice Queen. Ken put the red wine glass next to Ji Chenjiao, and sat down across the table leisurely. He took a sip of red wine and said slowly. Don't worry, I will find a way to notify Nolan the moment you stepped on the plane. But you also know that in his line of work, there is never an exact time for a date. Maybe he will appear in the next second, or maybe he will never appear again. Shut up your crow mouth. Nolan's tall figure appeared outside the restaurant. Ken was not surprised at his friend's elusive appearance, but muttered. Oh my, did you climb over the wall? Or did you come in through the secret passage? Or from the roof? Oh my, barbarian. Nolan didn't bother to pay attention to him and strode to the dining table. Jichinjio stood up, stretched out his hand, and shook hands with Nolan. I'm sorry, did I disturb you on your mission? Jichinjio said. It's okay. Nolan let go of his hand, put his coat on the chair, pulled out the chair and sat down. I believe MSG must have something very important to ask me. But please hurry up, my time is limited. After saying that, Nolan felt a little thirsty, and glanced at the red wine glass on the table, and was speechless. Ken, go get 2 glasses of ice lemon water. Drinking in broad daylight, you are really a scum in your medical community. Ken took the red wine glass away while cursing, took out 2 glasses from the cabinet next to him, poured ice water on them, inserted 2 slices of lemon, and handed them over. Dear madam, sir, please forgive us for the poor service. After saying that, he made a gesture of inviting people to come, which was exactly the same as the waiters in high-end restaurants. But the 2 people at the table ignored this drama queen. Nolan took a sip of water and looked at Jichinjio. So, what is so important that you must talk to me face to face? Jichinjio didn't know how to start. After a long time, she raised her head and took a big sip of water, as if she had replenished herself with a little courage. She put down the cup and asked in an unusually serious tone, Nolan, have you checked Chen Ling's body? Is she really dead? You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 166. The room fell into silence for a short time. Dr. Ken looked back and forth at the 2 people worriedly. Nolan held the water cup and stared at Jichinjio expressionlessly. After a long while, he spoke. MSG, you don't seem like a person who likes to make cold jokes. So what do you mean by asking this question? She saved my life twice. Jichinjio's voice trembled slightly. I can't accept it. Nolan put the glass on the marble table with a clang sound. It seems that there are quite a few people who can't let go of my captain. Nolan smiled. But there was endless desolation in his smile. Even though he is now the captain, he still habitually calls Chen Ling the captain. He said word by word, when Chen Ling was buried, you were also at the scene, right? Oh, I forgot, you were far away and couldn't see clearly. Chen Ling's body was broken into pieces and couldn't be put together. Many pieces were missing. I also found a few random tissues and tested the DNA. Captain Chen Ling is dead. Dead and dead. Every word he said was like a knife in his chest. Dr. Ken stared at Nolan, afraid that he would collapse in the next moment. However, Nolan did not collapse, and his eyes did not turn red. He still explained the facts in a calm voice. I think MSG would not come all the way to question me for no reason. Please explain it, okay? Jichinjio's body shook, and soon she sat firmly. I found someone, this person may be her. But I am not familiar with Chen Ling, you are her teammate who spends every day with her, so I want you to identify her. This person drowned on the same day Chen Ling was buried. After being rescued, she was completely changed. It is said that she lost her memory. Then, she participated in a program similar to Bear Grylls' survival program. She is very strong. I have a bold guess, I suspect that the person buried was just one of her stand-ins. You said you did a DNA test, what if this is also her trick? For example, is the DNA information you have really hers? She escaped and disguised herself as a drowned female star, replacing her. I wanted to go to her in person to confirm, but, you know, I was afraid of disturbing her, and afraid of bringing her danger. Nolan looked at Jichinjaya calmly, anything else? She took out her mobile phone, I have a few videos of her here. After speaking, she handed it over. Nolan stretched out his finger and pressed against Jichinjaya's phone. If she is really my captain, I think we shouldn't disturb her, right? I don't want to disturb her. It's just, knowing that she is still alive can give me great comfort and courage. Nolan, I think you should understand what I mean. Dr. Ken, who had been listening to their conversation silently, suddenly spoke. MSG, you are very cruel, you know? Give someone hope, and then smash the hope. Chen Ling is dead. Don't be whimsical. This sentence is to remind Nolan how hard it is for you to get out of the blow of her death. Nolan closed his eyes quickly. He has never been able to get out of the grief of her death. Nolan moved his finger away from the phone. Jichinjaya clicked on the Chen Ling's Desperate Survival special edited by netizens. Dr. Ken also came over. Chen Ling untied the rope, robbed squirrels, caught rabbits, caught quails, set up tents, caught drones, and climbed trees. Bai Muchuan, who didn't have 2 tails of meat, and Zhang Qian, who had 2 tails of muscle, were taken care of by Chen Ling. Chen Ling was busy preparing food, drinks, supplies, and shelter for the weaklings. Chen Ling's off-tune singing that hit the soul directly. Chen Ling snatched Sui Chao's mop with her bare hands and broke it. How is it? Jichinjaya's eyes flashed with hope, do you feel familiar? There is not the slightest similarity, Nolan said, it can even be said to be completely opposite. Jichinjaya. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 167. Jichinjaya retorted, how could? Nolan put down the phone. The woman on the screen is kind, gentle, and considerate, these words, if I dare to describe her in front of my captain, she can split my head open on the spot and see if there is anything in my mind. Something is parasitic. My captain saved you twice, didn't he? Did you add some Virgin Mary aura to her without authorization? Nolan clicked on Mile Ling's thin little arm on the screen. My captain, from the time she died to now, about half a month, unless she cut off those muscles with a knife, it would be impossible for her to become so thin. It can only be within a certain range, no. Jichinjaya added, but this female star is really amazing. Awesome, Nolan repeated, and finally he smiled. MSG, do you have any misunderstanding about the word awesome? Among the existing secret agent organizations in the world, the H-Rangers are one of the best. And our captain, Chen Ling, is the well-deserved number 1 among the H-Rangers. The female star in the video is considered very powerful among ordinary people. But with her 3-legged cat skills, she can't even be chosen as a substitute for our Rangers. You can go to any female military academy, sports school, or professionally trained female mercenary soldier to see if she is still good. This is not our Captain Chen Ling's style. Captain Chen Ling is an emotionless and cold machine. She will never give out useless kindness. She will never waste a second of time. She will definitely kick these 2 weak men far away. Will she form a team to take care of them? She has never taken the initiative to take care of her team members. When our team members are on a mission, if they are hungry and cannot find anything to eat, what do you think she will do? She will stand in front of you and make you stand while eating delicious food. Dry food. She once beat a strong Russian player who was 2 meters tall and weighed more than 200 pounds until he knelt down and begged for mercy because he fell behind. One time, I was on a mission with her and I got stuck in a swamp, and you know what she did? She brought a rock and sat in front of me, chewing dried meat, and laughing at me as hard as she could. I struggled little by little in the swamp for nearly 2 hours before I got out. During this period, she ate half a caddy of dried meat and slept through it. The rest of the time she spent laughing at me. At that time, Chen Ling pointed at herself who was half trapped in the swamp and said, "You look like a gopher now." She really wanted to find a hammer to smash herself down. Those things that once made him gnash his teeth now made his eyes burn when he mentioned it. After Nolan finished speaking, he stood up. "MSG, people will be trapped by their own pain." Seeing that Ji Chenjiao's eyes were still shining with hope, Nolan continued. "Look, her way of tying the rope is so outdated. The way she climbs trees, it's clumsy and laborious. We in the Rangers train all the time when we sleep. Some actions are ingrained in our bones. It can be said to be conditioned reflexes. It's difficult to fake them." Ji Chenjiao stubbornly refused to give up, but it's such a coincidence, her name is also Chen Ling. Also called Chen Ling. MSG, do you know how many people named Chen Ling are there in the world? According to incomplete statistics, there are more than 6,000. What are you thinking? Ji Chenjiao gritted his teeth and said, "In our country, there is a legend called borrowing a corpse to bring back the soul." In fact, this was the real conjecture in her heart. But she didn't dare to say that directly, otherwise, Nolan would probably turn around and leave. Nolan. Sure enough, after hearing this, Nolan stood up and turned to leave. He thought this was a farce. Ji Chenjiao stopped in front of him. "Nolan, wait, what if it's true?" Nolan seemed to have lost all his strength and said helplessly, "You are not normal, MSG. Please don't waste my time." Ji Chenjiao bit her lip, "I have something else, please help me take a look." After saying that, she took out a piece of paper from the bag she carried with her and handed it over. "Look at these 2 words, are they her handwriting?" Nolan took it. There are 2 Chinese characters on the paper, and the font is very fancy, much like the signature style of entertainment stars. This signature is exactly Chen Ling's signature that Lu Dengfeng asked for his friend when recording the promotional video. After Ji Chenjiao heard Chen Ling's name, he spent a lot of time checking Chen Ling's information. At first she didn't believe it. She also felt that there was something wrong with her brain. However, she remembered the Chinese legends she had heard. While she felt ridiculous, she couldn't help but keep investigating. In the official tidbits, it was discovered that Chen Ling signed someone's signature. She calculated the time. At that time, if Chen Ling really traveled through time, it would have been a few days, then, clues about the unconscious signature would have been left. Nolan took the signature and worked very hard to recognize the word Chen Ling. It's completely different. Nolan took out a wallet from his pocket. Inside the wallet was a folded piece of paper. "I found this when I was sorting out Captain Cheng's belongings. It should be 2 lines of Chinese poetry. You can check the font yourself." Ji Chenjiao took it. "Wow! What a strong and powerful word," she praised. "It's completely different from the signature. The signature of the female star Chen Ling is too ugly. It was just like grabbing a crab from the sea at random, putting a signature pen on the claws, and scribbling a few strokes on the paper. I'll make you give up completely." He took out a portable computer the size of a playing card from his pocket, entered the Chinese website, and searched Chen Ling keyword. Nolan browsed the information. "Look, she is still a student. I can hack into her school's electronic archives. Maybe there are her handwritten materials. If I find it, let's compare the handwriting." Soon, the electronic scan of Chen Ling's test paper appeared on the screen. The same crab scratches. Most people can't imitate this kind of sloppy and wild charm. The handwriting is right. The light in Jichinjayo's eyes disappeared. In other words, everything was her Jichinjayo's fantasy. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Buletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 168. Jichinjayo was heartbroken. She stuffed her signature and mobile phone back into her bag in a daze, stood up and stumbled, speaking incoherently, "Sorry, I disturbed you, it's me, I can't accept it, I'm leaving." She walked out with her bag and almost tripped over herself. Dr. Ken quickly caught her. Nolan sighed, "MSG, I won't see you off, Ken, find someone to take her back to the hotel." Dr. Ken took Jichinjayo, who was in a good mood, to the underground garage and entrusted his family driver to send Jichinjayo away. After sending her off, the doctor returned to the restaurant and unexpectedly found that Nolan had not left yet. Dr. Ken sighed, "Did it bring back your sad memories again?" Nolan didn't speak. "To be honest, I doubt whether this Chengling has any magic. After she left, why are so many people abnormal? Amos is one, you are one, and now there is another Jichinjayo." As he said, Ken approached Nolan. I found that Nolan was wearing a Bluetooth headset and watching a video on his pocket computer. In the video, the thin black-haired and black-eyed female star was standing on the deck, directing. Nolan, have you been infected by G's madness? Why are you still looking at this female star? Please, this person just has the same name as your captain. My God, why don't you all follow science? On the computer screen, the live broadcast of Slow Enjoyment of Life was in progress. Nolan waved his hand like chasing away flies. "SHH, don't make noise. Didn't you just tell G that she could never be Captain Chengling?" Ken pulled off one of Nolan's Bluetooth headphones. "I did. But I'm interested in this person with the same name as the captain." Dr. Ken looked at him with a scumbag look. "Oh my God. You don't want to pin your feelings of longing on this female star, do you? Just treat me as I am." Nolan looked at Chengling on the screen. She leaned on the railing, with most of her body out of the fishing boat, pointing to a place on the sea, asking the fishing boat to go over and cast the net. The sea breeze blew up her bangs, revealing her smooth forehead. Her face was calm and gentle. The size of her pupils did not change at all. How could this be the captain? He was hiding a big secret of the captain that no one knew about. Chengling had very serious thalassophobia, English, thalassophobia. This is a strong and persistent fear of the ocean. Mainly manifested in that as long as she was close to the sea, she would show uncontrollable uneasiness and anxiety. Chest tightness, shortness of breath, panic, sweating, shaking hands and feet. She would try to avoid getting close to the sea or the boat. If she had to get on the boat, she would also try to avoid facing the sea as much as possible. The female star on the screen was so calm, looking at the endless sea, without the slightest fear or anxiety, but looking like she was enjoying herself. A trace of sadness flashed through Nolan's heart. What am I doing? He closed the live video, then cleared all his browsing traces, put his pocket computer in his pocket, and stood up. Ken, MSG's visit today must be kept secret. Also, she has a grudge against Amos, so find someone to secretly protect her until she leaves America safely. Have you lost interest so quickly? Dr. Ken breathed a sigh of relief. Well, except for the name, there is really no resemblance to my captain. I'm relieved that you can recognize this, Ken said seriously. Nolan is a crazy guy. If he really has an interest in this Chinese female star, I'm afraid he can do anything. Hostage, house arrest, brainwashing. Nolan patted Ken on the shoulder and sighed, I just think, this world is so unfair. They are all called Chengling, some of them can live a happy life without worries. Some of them live so hard, but never enjoy a happy day. God does not exist. No more, I'm going to perform my mission. Asterisk. It's there, where the seabirds are circling, cast the net there. Chen Ling faced the sea, holding down her hair blown by the wind with her hands. The crew threw the net towards the sea where the birds were circling. The fishing net spread out in the air, facing the orange light of the rising sun, drawing a beautiful fan shape in the air, and finally turned into a circle, and then fell into the sea with a splash. The captain calculated the time in his mind. Listen. Count down to 3 and prepare to collect the nets. 3, 2, 1. Collect. Pull hard. Hey. The Dragon King is rewarding. Hey. Big fortune depends on heaven. Hey. Small fortune depends on me. Hey. The 3 fishermen shouted labor songs, pushed their feet against the ground, leaned back at a 45-degree angle with the ground, veins on the back of their arms and hands bulged, and they used their left and right hands to collect the fishing nets from the sea one by one. A big harvest. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The soul travels through the 18th line, the female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 169. The fishing net was pulled up, and the net was full of fish. Their scales were shining in the morning light. Chen Ling smiled. She is so happy. The sea feels so good. When she was an agent, she tried to avoid going to sea to perform missions. Even seeing pictures of sunken ships in the sea made her heart beat faster. When she first traveled through time, while investigating the drowning of the original owner, she discovered that her fear of the sea had disappeared. Wow! Sister Ling laughed. My God! Really smiling like a flower. Bravo! Really caught so many fish. There are so many fish. The next door just cast a net and caught a few fish. Lu's Hiding's face was so bad that she had to rely on the captain's fishing skills. The captain and crew even showed their joy of harvest unabashedly. The fishermen on the beach are all superstitious. Whether they can catch fish and return home with a full harvest depends on God's mood. And they think it is a gift from God that they can catch fish with the first net cast out into the sea. In this net, most of them are golden pomfret. Occasionally mixed with some eel-scaled fish, small yellow flowers, prawns, and so on. The 3 captains worked together to dump the fish from the fishing net into the warehouse where the fish was stored. The fish struggled and flopped as they were dumped into a storage room filled with ice water. The wrinkles on the captain's bronze face were blooming with joy. He rubbed his hands and asked Chen Ling, "Are you still casting the net?" "Spread more internet cafes," Chen Ling said, "thank you for your hard work." "No hard work, no hard work," the captain waved his hand repeatedly. "This is free publicity on the internet." His fishing boat caught fish on the show, which made him famous, and many people would take the initiative to place orders from him. The first net is full of rewards, which is a good meaning. Fish buyers and fish sellers all like to get a good compliment. "Wait until I see where the next net is cast," Chen Ling said, standing on the bow of the boat, setting up a pergola with his hands, squinting and looking into the distance. "There is a small island in the distance. Then we should go to Hognose Island for snorkeling later. Near Pignose Island, there are some rocks protruding from the water. Captain, please drive the boat to that island. Don't use too much power. Be careful not to drive into the reef." "Okay. I'm familiar with this area. There aren't many reefs." Lu Ju has now gradually adapted to the secret of how to master balance on a fishing boat, which is to gently swing his body with the waves. She grabbed the railing and stood up. "Sister Ling, you are so amazing. I don't think I'm great at this. I just know a little bit about fishing. But I was lucky enough to catch it. The captain and the others are very skilled. Lu Ju moved his arms and legs slightly. What can I do? Seeing that her expression had indeed recovered, Chen Ling ordered her, go and ask the captain about the name of the fish we caught and the price in the local market. We will go to the morning market in a while. You come to greet the customers and I will be responsible for bagging and collecting them money. As commanded. Lu Ju immediately saluted as a boy and went to inquire with the fisherman. The captain slowly controlled the boat and headed towards a small island. There are abundant seaweeds distributed under the islands and reefs, and 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning is the best time to catch fish and shrimp. Chen Ling pointed to the dense clumps of aquatic plants under the boat. That's it right here. Please captain, please chop up a few fish that you just caught and cut them into pieces. I'll cast them down later, and everyone will cast their nets again. The captain picked up the fish chopping knife, picked out 7 or 8 worthless sea crucian carps, cut them into coin-sized pieces, put them in a bucket, and handed them to Chen Ling. Chen Ling shook the bucket, letting the fish pieces slide quickly inside the bucket, and then poured it into the sea. The fish pieces were scattered over a large area. The bloody smell of the fish immediately attracted the underwater inhabitants of the island and reefs, groups of looming shadows appearing near the aquatic plants. Net. This time the captain chose a fishing net suitable for spreading near seaweed. The mesh is small and the net surface is small, so it is not easy to get entangled in the waterweed. This time, although the harvest was not as spectacular as the first net, it was better than abundant. Barracuda, sea bass, sea crucian carp, swimming crab, beef tongue fish, prawns, pippy shrimps, filled a big box full. Wow! Sister Ling, we are rich. Chen Ling smiled. We can't call it getting rich, but we are really lucky this time. She glanced at the lively aquatic products in the box. Steamed swimming crab, braised beef tongue fish, sea bass in black bean sauce, salt and pepper shrimp. She couldn't help but swallow. Last night she ate a lunch box consisting of 2 meat and 1 vegetable. So far this morning, I still haven't touched any rice. Ah, so hungry. All this cannot escape sharp-eyed netizens. Did my sister Ling swallow her saliva? Yes. You see her looking at the shrimps, crabs, and fish with a greedy expression on her face. Sister Ling can eat so much, she must be hungry. My poor soul. Why don't the program crew give me food? Probably because I am afraid of missing the best fishing moment also. Eating something makes you more likely to get seasick. Why am I so distressed? I wonder if the captain and the others have any snacks. Can you give some to me, Sister Ling? The soul travels through the 18th line. The female agent is killing crazy in the entertainment. Author, Bulletin Yehoyun Li. Chapter 170. Chen Ling quickly shifted her gaze from the shrimps, crabs, and fishes to the staff who were filming with them. Did they bring breakfast with them? Or, he. That look was like a hungry golden cat, aiming at a bird in a cage. The staff felt their scalps slightly numb. Sister Ling, it is illegal to eat people. I felt that the screen was shaking just now. Was the photographer scared by Sister Ling's sharp eyes? In the intercom, the director said to the staff who were filming with them, tell them that the food we are going to eat is on Pig Nose Island. When they finish fishing, they can go to the island for breakfast. The accompanying staff conveyed it truthfully. Chen Ling said with an indifferent expression, okay, got it? The captain climbed back to the deck from the storage room. The shrimps and crabs were all chilled with ice cubes to extend their lifespan and maintain their freshness. He rubbed his hands and asked Chen Ling, teacher, where should we cast the third net? We won't fish in the third net, Chen Ling said, let's not be too greedy. The captain felt a little sorry. But this time, he had the final say. He asked, so are we going to go fishing? Chen Ling shook his head, we've caught enough, so there's no need for sea fishing. Let's get ready to go to Zubi Island. Luju was a little curious. Why? I've heard a legend about a greedy person. It said that a man wanted to go fishing. Before going out to sea, he worshipped the Dragon King and prayed for a good harvest and 800 kilograms of seafood. As a result, he was very lucky that day. Every time he cast a net, he could pull up a full net. Later, the crew member in charge of weighing told him that it was already full of 800 kilograms, but he didn't want to stop. He caught one net after another. As a result, the sky that was just sunny, the wind blew, the clouds floated, thunder and rain fell. Huge waves rose on the sea and overturned the boat. A boat full of seafood fell into the sea. Chen Ling was concise and told this little story in a few words. Barrage. Why do I feel that Sister Ling gave up the third net and sea fishing because she heard that there was food on Zubi Island? Hey, when you mention it, I have the same feeling. I feel like she made up this story on the spot. It shouldn't be for the sake of stuttering. The boat docked at Zubi Island. The captain pulled the anchor to fix the hull and built a temporary wooden pier. Chen Ling got off the boat at a brisk pace and headed straight for the shade of the island. There were several employees wearing slow enjoyment work clothes, setting up tents and simple breakfast stalls. Smelling the fragrance from afar, Chen Ling felt that her eyes were glowing blue with hunger. The program team prepared local specialties for breakfast in Xia City: seafood buns, oyster egg pancakes, oyster omelette, fried potato pancakes, pancakes with green onions, greasy sea duck eggs, cold mixed asparagus, and fried crispy dried fish with peanuts. Because snorkeling consumes a lot of physical energy, the program team is also afraid that the guests are so tired that they can't eat enough. If they have hypoglycemia, it will be troublesome. There are many kinds of breakfast. There are many kinds of buns. Teacher Chen Ling, the buns are just out of the pot, please be careful of the heat. This one is stuffed with leeks and shrimp, this one is stuffed with crab meat and eggs, this one is stuffed with Spanish mackerel, this one is stuffed with sea urchin, and this one is stuffed with clams, pork and green onions. Which flavor do you want to eat? The buns are very solid, big, white, and soft. Just looking at them makes people drool. Chen Ling took the iron plate handed over by the staff and asked seriously, is there a limit on the number? Ah, no limit. When Luju ran over, he saw Chen Ling took a stainless steel iron plate and used a clip to stack the buns on the plate. There was already a small mountain of buns on the plate. Sister Ling, don't take too much, we can't finish it. Chen Ling picked up another big fat bun and carefully stacked it. This is for me alone. Luju stared in amazement as Chen Ling carried two large plates full of food and walked steadily towards the folding table under the tree. Another female celebrity with a big stomach personality: old UN still fed you too much. I counted, there are 8 buns in this pile. I'm 1.8 meters tall, and I can only eat 6 buns of this size in one meal. Damn, I hate people who waste food the most. Can't you just take as much as you can eat? I just had a little crush on Chen Ling. Only Cheng's mother, who was sitting in front of the TV and holding a cat, sighed, with my girl's current hunger, this is not enough to eat.